Okay, so I pour all my refining fluid in here. You can see there's a bunch of silver at the bottom of that. That's a 1 gallon jar. And then after it goes through there, I put it into a second 2 gallon jar just to see if I catch anything else, which I do. You can see there's a pretty decent layer of silver on the bottom of here. And this should be all cement silver. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna start with a 2 gallon jar. I actually went and got another one right here. So I'm just gonna siphon it off, and then I'll get that silver out of the bottom of there. And then I think it's just a matter, my understanding is just rinsing all the chemicals out of it until you have completely clear water. And then I will attempt to melt that. If that goes successfully, I'll move on to this 1 gallon jar and get that started. So away we go.
Pet stop.
All right.
The dog.
We're getting down there, and I noticed some of this is full of silver, so I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that. I haven't actually sprayed this yet. I was going to do it. Yeah, there's kind of a silver coating on all the copper. I mean, you can obviously tell it's discolored. That's got a lot of silver. We'll do some finagling and tapping to try to get as much as I can out of there. But if it stays in there, it's not a big deal because it's going to stay in the pot. You know, the next batch, and next batch, and next batch. So if I'm ever really broke and digging for change in the couches, I know where there's some silver. Okay, good and bad news, I guess. There was not as much silver in there as I thought. Bad because I thought there was more, and good because it means I'm catching nearly all of it in that first pot with copper in it. So I'm gonna, you can see blue kind of settling out there. I'm gonna boil this for a while and see if that helps get it out. And I'll rinse it, I imagine, quite a few more times and get any kind of color out of there. I don't think boiling is necessary. I think I'm just gonna keep adding tap water to this, stir it really well, let it set for 20, 30 minutes, come back down, check on it. If it looks like it's settled out, siphon off the colored liquid and do it again. Rinse, repeat, over and over and over. It's the third rinse. After sitting for about 45 minutes, you can see what we end up with. So I thought I had this all rinsed out. I don't know if it's gonna show on camera, but there's definitely a blue tint in there still. So, gosh, I've rinsed it 8 times now, and I started boiling it to get dry powder. Yeah, clearly some blue in there. So I'm gonna dump a bunch more water in this, rinse it a few more times. And I did empty my 1 gallon jar out right there. So that's in here. Significantly more silver, obviously, than there. But yeah, I was kind of surprised. Like it was clean water for 2 rinses, but there's definitely some blue left in there. So I've always done the sugar and lime method. This is the first time I've used copper and cemented it out. So this is kind of a learning curve for me, maybe for you too. Okay, I dried this out last night. I thought I had it rinsed clean. And you can see, I actually took a little dry chunk, threw it in a crucible, and as soon as I put heat on it, plume of smoke. So I knew I wasn't clean yet. So I'm rinsing it more, and you can see there's still blue in there. There's actually some red coming off of it as well. Now this is that small amount. The other, what came out of the 1 gallon jar that had, you know, significantly more in it, is in here right now, and I am boiling it. I have a stir rod in there as well, but it's too thick to, you know, it'll spin for about 2 seconds and then it settles, the silver settles, and it's too heavy for it. You can even see on that, I've rinsed it maybe 5 times and there's quite a bit of blue up top still, so. And that was just recently mixed, so it's gonna settle, and then we'll have blue down. Now there might be like up to the 300 or 400 line of silver. You can actually see it. If I can get it in the camera angle. Yeah, you can see the silver cement settle at the bottom there. Like I said, this is a new process for me. I'm not sure if I'm liking this or not. We'll see how it turns out. I don't love the sugar and lye method either, so we'll see how this turns out. I just feel like with the sugar and lye method that I'm losing or dumping out silver, but it's turned out pretty successful though too. So anyhow, I will keep rinsing these. I'm not going to waste your guys' time showing me do all the rinses. I'll just kind of let you know once I get it clean. I'll do a test melt, and I'll let you know at that point if it was in fact clean. I think I will melt it outside because it produced a quick plume of smoke, and got myself and my dog out of here real quick, open the back door and let some air in. So all right, I'll stop wasting your time. All right, I am puzzled. Truly. That is clearly brown. And when I started this process, it was very gray, cement silver. So just through the rinsing process, it has turned brown. So I've taken a small sample out of here. I'm going to dry it all. You can see we have nice clean water in there. But very confused by the color. I'm wondering if there's some copper, I guess maybe, excess nitric that got in there. Some copper adding some color to it. It's really strange because it was very gray, and you could see that even in the beginning of the video. Anyhow, I'm gonna dry that down to a powder, put some heat on it, and see what happens. Kind of regretting this. I'm almost wishing I would have done the lye and sugar method. I don't want to lose silver. I have to go buy more necklaces to import gold with. We'll see how it turns out. All right. Well, it turned out an odd color. I almost wonder if there is gold in here. I've mentioned I don't I don't try to get everything out on gold filled. I do a lot of gold filled. Yeah, it has a gold color to it. I'm curious. I almost want to put. Well, I will. I'll put a couple pieces of nitric acid and see what happens. But that's just a small sample. I'll get the rest done tomorrow. But basically impure silver, whatever it is, it'll work for inquartation. That's all I'm really looking for. So you'll notice in the background black silver in the beaker and in the 1 gallon jar. I switched and I used lye and sugar, assuming that I had some silver in there and not cement silver, but that it wasn't converting. So that actually worked out well. I ended up with an 88 gram chunk of silver that I have a photo of at the end of the video. But I am not sure how I messed up the cement silver so badly, but I am just going to use the lye and sugar method going forward. I've used it in the past. It's always done well. I'm still working on silver, recovering this. I did dissolve some, and it's interesting. I think there is a little bit of gold in here. Call me crazy, but it dried out. I need to rehydrate it. That's after 2 boils in nitric acid. There's quite a bit left in there, so I'm not sure what I got going on here. Kind of messed this whole process up. That's all I've harvested so far, but I've still got quite a bit here to go. And then I just wanted to show. I thought I'd grab a pocket knife here. These things are sweet, by the way. Super thin and light. You don't even notice it in your pocket. You'd be surprised how often you use a knife. But this is from BVB, where I get nitric acid. I'm looking at the box, not the camera, so. They have, apparently there's a nationwide nitric acid shortage. It's supposed to be very temporary. So I couldn't get 68%. Yeah, it even looks like it might have leaked a little bit in that bottle, or in that bag. Yeah, there we go. So 64% nitric acid, but I got 4 quarts the price was $44. I think it was around $55 shipped to my door, which is a hell of a deal. I think it's normally $28 per quart. And on the 68%, I think I was paying around $90 to my door. So, what, 40% off? And it's still going to work fine. Just maybe take a little bit more acid, but I'm sure it's not going to be 40% more. Anyhow, really good deal. I mean, if you're looking for nitric acid, I don't have any kind of link or anything, discounts or anything for you. But you can see I've blocked my stuff out in here. Hopefully you can see that. But BVV shop. Oh, I've shown it before. But yeah, shopbvv.com. If we can find it on here. There we go. Shopbvv.com. So, interesting that there's a nitric acid shortage, though. I know silver refiners were backed up, and a lot of places stopped buying sterling. I only know that because I've seen it on YouTube. But, yeah, it's interesting. So, kind of tells you that there's a lot of demand out there for physical metals right now. Because even the big refiners, they use nitric acid in their process. So, anyhow, just thought I'd show you that I do practice what I preach. Just got a package today. So this is my last quart here. And when I'm down to the last one, I order 4 more. So I'll be picking up a couple necklaces this week. One of them I'm trying to work out. It's a big purchase. It's over 200 grams of 10 carats in a single necklace. So I'm trying to get the best deal I can with the guy. Not trying to undercut him or anything, but I'm trying to get it for around 75%. So we'll see if that works out. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add. I made this sweet custom door for my enclosure here. So this handmade, one-of-a-kind handle, which was just a piece that was from here before, actually. I just needed something to grab onto. I actually put a little magnet latch on here. Hey, dummy, get out of there. Don't worry, there's nothing on or burning or anything in there. Yeah, and then just some really small hinges. I actually got these off Amazon because there was nothing at like Home Depot or Menards small enough for what I was looking for. And right now they're just screwed into the Lexan. If needed, I can adjust this and get 2 screws into the lumber. But that'll work. And there's a little bit of gap here, and I ran 2 large stir rods underneath here when I was deciding how to screw it into place. So that lets air go in, that can then go out the fume hood. It can't be completely sealed, obviously. You have to let some air in order for fumes to go out. But somebody else had asked me how much this fume setup costs, and I mean, I guess I didn't have to buy lumber or screws. I just had that stuff around. But the actual enclosure is less than $100. Most expensive thing by far is the fan. I think it was only around $30. Has this really handy adjustable, infinitely adjustable speed. I'm sure it was just rattling around, probably a piece of rust or something in there. And I don't expect that fan to last forever, especially being $30 or $40. But, if I have to replace it once a year, it's not a big deal. Yeah, so if you're going to get into this and you don't have an outdoor area that's extremely well ventilated, absolutely, I would do this right away. I actually put it off about a month myself, and I didn't notice any fumes, anything like that, until one day that I had let a batch, I had left it on heat when I went to sleep. It was on low heat. I thought it'd be fine. Came down in the morning and I could smell it. I could smell it directly, only in the room directly above this, but I could smell it when I came downstairs the next morning, and that's when I was like, all right, we need to do something better here. So, but besides that fan, even in open air, it would really draw fumes out. So I know somebody else had commented about, they thought I was mistreating my dog because he was near dangerous chemicals. My dog is more spoiled than most people's kids, so aren't you, dummy? He's just fine. He'd be more sad if I closed the door and didn't let him out. Anyway, I'm gonna keep working on silver here. I'll probably just put this out at this point. I don't really have anything much planned, and then when I get some gold this week, I will make another video. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it.